Hi guys, welcome back. Instead of today's regular lesson, I'm going to put something up in front of you that's an older video. That's one of my favorite Beach Boy songs. We lost Brian Wilson this week, and he was so important to music in the last century. He was undoubtedly a genius, and there's many people much wiser than me that will explain his genius a lot better on the internet. Look around if you want to investigate Brian Wilson, if you haven't already. He really was a truly interesting guy, and made some incredible music. But here is one of my favorite Beach Boy songs, Don't Worry Baby, and I hope you enjoy it.
Don't worry, baby. Don't worry, everything will turn out alright. Don't worry, baby. Oh, oh.
And today we're doing Don't Worry Baby by the Beach Boys. Beautiful, beautiful song, relatively simple chords. I'm playing a smaller bodied classical guitar today. It's actually a requinto guitar, but it seemed to suit the song, so I'm going to give this a run, even though I've had this for quite a while and never used it in one of these lessons before. It's a great guitar for a lot of reasons, and I will do another little video breakdown of this guitar and why I love it so much in the near future. But for now, download your chart. Let's get started on this fantastic song. Chords are very simple. E, the intro, where we've got these beautiful harmonies going over the top. We've got E major, A major, then what a lot of charts will write as an A over B, but unless you're leaving this high E string open, the more correct name for this is a B9 sus4. Whatever you call it, it's simply your first finger across the second fret on every string except the low E. You do that twice for the intro, right? So it goes, and you can strum it like that, or you can down, down, up, one. So that's strumming pattern. If you want to break it down into the count, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's a simple strum. Keep it simple and it will sound nice. I like to play this song just picking notes out of the chords with my fingers because A, I like to play with my fingers, but B, I think this song actually slows down and is really nice when you play it very openly and sparsely. But that's just me. Play it however you like it. After that intro, where we've gone E, A, B9 sus4 twice, and 2 bars on the E, by the way, E, E, A, B9 sus4, E, E, A, B9 sus4. Then we're into the verse, sorry. So the verse is on the E. Now, you can play the E here, you can play an E here, a nice E major. If it's got that major third in it, it's going to sound nice. Well, it's been building up inside of me, A for oh, I don't know how long. Now, this chord is a B7. You can play a straight B. In fact, you know, some people would argue that it's a straight B, but I think the B7 sounds nicer. And then we do that again. I don't know why, but I keep thinking something's bound to go wrong. So again, I also like to play those chords up here. I don't know why, but I keep thinking something's bound to go wrong. B7. Use them as bar chords. Makes no difference, but you may prefer it one way or the other. I'm talking a lot about different ways to play the same chords here, but it's kind of what makes the song fun to play around with. After that, we go to an F sharp minor. Now, you can play this as an F sharp minor 7 by lifting that pinky off the D string, and it sounds a little bit more colorful. Suit yourself. I believe that it's a 7 chord, but it might not be. I've listened really, really closely to this song, and I can't tell whether some of these chords are 7s or or just straight minor chords. Play whichever one you like. When she looks in my eyes, B there. Again, could be a B7. But either way, some people will find a B7 easier to play as a bar chord there. And I would suggest playing it as a bar chord in this section rather than your open B7 chord, because what we're going to do, we're going to go F sharp minor to B or B7, then we're going to move up and do the same thing 2 frets up. And makes me realize, again, G sharp minor 7 or G sharp minor, makes me realize, and C sharp 7 or C sharp major. Again, your choice. And then it goes into the chorus. It does something very interesting from the verse to the chorus in this song. It starts off in the key of E major. So you'll see on your chart there's a key signature for E major. But when we go into the chorus, we're in F major, F sharp major. Don't worry. So it sort of modulates between the key of E major and the key of F sharp major in that song, which is why you've got 2 separate key signatures on your chart. When she said, don't worry, baby. That is an F sharp major 7. There are 2 common ways to play this chord. One is like that, with D string 4th fret, G string 3rd fret, B string 2nd fret, and E string 1st fret, and you get this really nice straight diagonal line of notes, which is kind of easy to remember. The other way, that's very common, is by playing your major 7 chord this way. First finger on the root note here on the E string 2nd fret, and then an A minor shape, but a fret lower than you would expect it, so that the 2nd finger is on the same fret as your root note. And you don't play the A string. That's your first chord of the chorus. Don't worry, baby. And for some reason, that sounds nicer when you sing over the top of it. Don't worry, baby. Don't worry. I think this lower chord, for some reason, there's something about that note or that note that actually clashes a little bit with the vocals, in my opinion. So personally, I would go for this chord. Don't worry, baby. G sharp or G sharp minor, G sharp minor or G sharp minor 7. Personally here, I prefer in the chorus a G sharp minor 7. Don't worry. Then when we go to the C sharp 7, what we're going to do is start with your pinky up, and this is a good reason to play the 7th chords instead of the major chords, because you can start with your pinky up there and just slide it down there. So you start with the C sharp 7 sus 4, which sounds complicated, but it's not that complicated to play. C sharp 7 sus 4 and the C sharp 7. So, don't worry, baby. Don't worry, everything will turn out alright. Back to there or back to there. Don't worry, baby. Don't worry. And do that again, like so the whole thing twice through. At the end of each of these choruses, you go, then you drop down and do it again on a B7 sus 4 and drop it down to a B7 to go back into the next verse. So you'll see on your chart, the whole song is one big repeated section. It does that little B7 at the end of the first 2 times through. When we get to the little instrumental break in the middle, you can actually play this on the guitar if you like. You're playing, it's over the same 3 chords, so it's E, A, and B. It's the same chords as under the intro. And we take this instrumental bit, which is basically the 12th fret on the B and the E strings. You might want to add the 13th fret on the G string, but if you just play those 2 notes with your pinky, you can add the bass notes as well. So you can go. Then we move down to 10 on the B and 9 on the E, and you're playing the A string. And then you move your bass to the B, which is 7th fret E string. And you keep those 2 notes again. So it's like this. And you can do whatever you want with the bass note. Then you move into the third verse, follow it through to the end. You just repeat that chorus out and out and out. And that's the end of the song. Thanks a lot for watching. We will see you here again next time.